Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on ailments, continuing with heart, blood, and circulatory ailments that start with the letter A, fourth part, and B. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Please refer to my How to Use Homeopathic Remedies video before using the material in this video. I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on specific ailments, but I've broken these ailments into categories for easier reference. I'll begin with ailments of the mind and emotions, then I'll move on to ailments of the brain and nervous system. Then I'll address issues with the skin, nails, hair, eyes, ears, nose, teeth, gums, lungs, respiration, heart, blood, circulation, muscles, bones, joints, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small and large intestine, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, kidney, bladder, then ailments specific to women and specific to men, then issues of the hormones and the metabolism, and after that I'll address the issues of homeopathic remedies on infections, infestations, and the immune system, then issues surrounding fertility and pregnancy and surrounding childbirth and postnatal problems, then homeopathic remedies that address special problems in infants, ailments and diseases in childhood, and special issues of adolescence, and finally, special issues of the elderly. Constitutional treatment involves treating the totality of the individual person. Everyone is a unique individual with a unique physiology that responds to substances differently. In homeopathy, it is recognized that people will react strongly to certain remedies, and as a result of this, they can be loosely placed into different categories called constitutional types. Homeopaths talk of, for example, phosphoric types. These are people who react strongly to phosphorus, or arsenicum album types, those who react strongly to arsenicum album. The belief is that people of one type share similarities in terms of body shape, character, and personality, and the sorts of diseases from which they suffer. As an example, nature mirror people tend to be pear-shaped, have a dark complexion, be fastidious and rigid in personality, and keep themselves to themselves. They also crave salt and suffer from constipation. As another example, lycopodium types tend to be tall, gangly, and of a stooped appearance, with an anxious expression and a craving for sweets and a propensity to produce intestinal gas. Now, of course, constitutional treatments have their limitations. In reality, each person is an individual, and so there are as many constitutional types as there are human beings. And an account must be taken of the sum total of the person's inherent predispositions, past illnesses, diet, general reactions to the environment, intellectual and emotional features, and general attitude towards life. This is what's meant by constitutional treatment. I'll be making detailed videos of the various constitutional types after I've completed the use of homeopathic remedies on ailments. The ideas, procedures, and suggestions in this video and all my homeopathic videos are not intended as a substitute for the medical advice of a trained health professional. Consult your physician before adopting the suggestions in this video. If you're pregnant, do not attempt these techniques with the approval of your physician. So, let us continue with learning how homeopathic treatments can help with heart, blood, and circulatory ailments. Today we will continue with those ailments that start with A, fourth part, and B. Excuse me. The heart is really two pumps, each composed of an upper and lower chamber, and two valves, one between the upper and lower chamber, and one at the exit from the lower chamber. The right side of the heart is less muscular of the two pumps. It receives oxygen-depleted blood from the venous system and sends it to the lungs for oxygenation. The other half, the left side, receives oxygen-rich blood from the hearts and sends it shooting up through the aorta and around the whole body. Branching off the aorta are arteries and arterioles. These walls are muscular and elastic and are designed to transmit the pumping force of the heart to the farthest reaches of the body. Blood is collected from every part of the body by venules and veins, which are thin-walled and have valves in them so that blood can flow only one way, back to the heart. The pumping action of muscles helps the blood push through them. Connecting the smallest tributaries of the arterial and venous system are the capillaries. These are blood vessels so small that in major organs and muscles there are thousands of them per square inch. Oxygen-carrying red blood cells are pushed through them by the pulsing pressure of the heart. Blood pressure depends on three things: the tone of the artery walls, the pumping force of the heart, and the volume of blood in circulation. Generally speaking, blood pressure creeps up with age. This is because the kidneys become slightly less efficient at regulating the water content of the blood, and because arteries tend to become less elastic, thus forcing the heart to work harder. Blood is the body's universal transport system. It carries everything the body needs: oxygen, sugars, fats, proteins, hormones, minerals, clotting factors, antibodies, as well as everything it does not need: carbon dioxide, other dissolved gases, urea, hostile microorganisms, and their toxins, as well as general debris. A grown man has about 5 liters of blood in him and about 8% of his body weight. Plasma, a straw-colored fluid that is mostly water, accounts for 55% of blood volume. Red and white blood cells and platelets make up the rest. Red cells carrying oxygen bound for an iron containing a pigment called hemoglobin, and the platelets prevent blood loss by initiating the clotting process, far outnumber white blood cells, though during infection the latter multiply enormously. White blood cells are part of the immune system, protecting the body against disease organisms. At the end of their useful life, which is seldom longer than about 3 months, even for the healthy of us, red and white blood cells are destroyed and recycled by the liver and spleen. Destruction must, of course, keep pace with creation. In a healthy individual, the bone marrow produces as many red blood cells as the spleen and liver destroy. The lymph glands, the glands that swell up during infection because they are busy producing a variety of white blood cells, are part of a secondary transport network, the lymphatic system. The spleen, tonsils, bone marrow, and thymus are also part of the lymphatic system, whose vessels run to every part of the body. Lymph vessels have much thinner walls than veins, but like veins, they have one-way valves in them and depend on the pumping action of muscles for their circulation. They transport lymphocytes to sites of injury and infection, collect emulsified fats from the small intestine, and drain fluid from the spaces between cells. This fluid contains proteins and other valuable substances that cannot be actively absorbed by the blood vessels. The contents of the lymphatic network eventually empty into the bloodstream through 2 ducts, one on either side of the neck at the junction of the subclavian and internal jugular veins. Arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis is the slow clogging up and hardening of the arteries due to a buildup of fatty deposits on the smooth inner walls of the arteries. As these deposits become larger and harder into plaque, artery walls lose their smoothness and elasticity, and blood flow is disrupted. Plaque eats into and weakens artery walls, sometimes causing arteries to swell or burst. This condition both contributes to and is aggravated by arteriosclerosis, age-related hardening of the arteries. It may be symptomless until the arteries of the heart are affected, or the arteries supplying the brain and other vital organs are affected. The plaque-narrowed arteries are also vulnerable to blockage by blood clots and dislodged fragments of plaque. Orthodox treatment is limited to drugs that reduce blood pressure or drugs that reduce blood cholesterol levels. The homeopathic remedies listed below are also palliative. Medicine is no substitute for a change of diet and lifestyle. Specific remedies, to be taken twice a day for 1 month, in addition to following the self-help advice that follows. If there's no noticeable improvement, see your doctor. If the person is elderly and suffering from high blood pressure and heart palpitations, especially if an aneurysm is present, use Baryta Carb 6C. For frequent fainting spells with a craving for salt and feeling very nervous and highly strung, use Phosphorus 6C. For fainting spells, dizziness, confusion, and general mental deterioration, and the heart feels compressed in the chest, use Vanadium 6C. For a tight, congestive headache with pounding sensation in the arteries, use Glonoinum 6C. That's Glonoinum 6C. Bruising. Bruising is an accumulation of blood in tissues around a ruptured blood vessel. As soon as the rupture occurs, blood platelets pour into the breach, causing blood vessels to contract so that further blood loss is minimized. Then strands of protein in the blood serum map together, trapping more platelets, and the breach is sealed. Bruising occurs very easily if one component in the complex blood clotting mechanism is absent, as in hemophilia. If the blood platelet count is low because the bone marrow has been damaged by drugs or radiation, or if antibodies are destroying platelets faster than they can be produced in the bone marrow, lack of vitamin C, essential for the formation of collagen in the walls of blood vessel, also leads to easy bleeding and bruising. Specific remedies to be taken 4 times daily for up to 3 days. If no improvement, see your doctor. For bruising due to injury, use Arnica 30C. For bruising with broken skin or bruising due to poor return of blood to the heart, as in varicose veins, use Hamamelis 6C. Where bruising involves mainly nerve endings, as in fingers or toes, use Hypericum 30C. For bruises on the breast, use Bellis 6C. Where bruising feels as if it is a bone, use Ruta 6C. Self-help. Apply a cold compress or Arnica ointment. Step up your intake of vitamin C. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.